is most important in university spaces, because university spaces have so much privilege. They have privilege in the fact that college students have a different type of risk than people maybe who are out of college. When I was in college, I could chain myself to a tree, at a tower, whatever I thought I could do to make a difference. Like, I was that person. Like, I was chaining myself to anything that I could because I was trying to promote change. I cannot chain myself to anything anymore to do that work, right? Like, now I do that work in very different ways. But the university space really is the space where you're allowed, and even supposed to be encouraged to be radical, encouraged to be progressive, encouraged to challenge the status quo. Because think about all of our movements, the Chicano movement, for example. While a lot of it came out of the farm workers, there was a simultaneous student movement that was happening that helped be a foundational puzzle piece to the movement. And without the student movement, the Chicano movement would have looked a lot different. And so if we think about historically how universities used to be a very central piece to our movements, and question if universities are still a fundamental piece of social movements, I would argue that they're not the same. And why are they not the same? And is it because we are letting students organize, or are we encouraging them to organize? Are we encouraging them to think critically? Are we facilitating this consciousness and their ability to promote social movements? I am in love with Puerto Rico. I've never been there, but I'm in love with it. And one of the reasons I'm in love with it is because what happens every time they try to raise tuition? They take to the streets. They protest. And it's because the students there know that they own the power. That it's not the administrators. I mean, if there's like protest tomorrow, I have no, that's not my fault. That they have the power, and we have really told young people that they don't have the power, that they really just have to accept whatever decisions are made, and I think that's very dangerous. And while as a student, protester, demonstrator, activist, I didn't get everything I wanted, it did teach me to fight for what I want, to be passionate, to be knowledgeable, to be prepared, to be hardworking. I remember staying up all night long in our multicultural center, planning protests and building coalitions and all these things that make the world a better place. And so, while the outcome is important in regards to revolutionizing, transforming spaces, the process is equally important for the young folks who are on this campus in teaching them skills that they need in order to promote a more socially just and humane society. And I think that there's a lot of privilege here because A, you have a multi-generational space. Most spaces are not multi-generational. And I think that's very powerful. The second reason is because there's a lot of knowledge and imagination, intellectual curiosity, the space and time to have those conversations. I'm the oldest of 11. My mom worked 3 jobs. I love my mother, and she believes full-heartedly the world should be a better place, but with 11 kids and 3 jobs, the opportunities for her to truly engage in movements were very limited, as opposed to my ability, right, to engage in movements were a lot more possible than my mother's. And so fighting for my family was some way I felt that I was contributing back to my family. And so I love this cover because we see young people across the world truly being revolutionaries. And I wish that we were able to spark the same type of consciousness and agency I'm a millennial. We're still working with millennials generation.